Good evening. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for the Maryland School for the Blind 2022. I am Phyllis Simmons, the administrative advisor, and I would also like to introduce Ms. Maria Morris. Sorry. Also this year, we had a team of individuals who helped with the planning of this ceremony. We would like to thank Dottie Rayner, Tammy Kraft, and Patricia Snyder. Thank you. At this time, we will introduce our platform guests. Ms. Maureen Bessesi and Mr. Paul Schroeder. And Ms. Marion Malawa. Ms. Carol Seckington, Principal of the General Academic Program and Functional Program. Ms. Heather Saran, Assistant Principal of the General Academic Program. Dr. Joshua Ejit, Director of Education. And he is also accompanied Mr. Lou Smith. He's the interim president of the Alumni Association.
Please stand as we introduce our graduating seniors. Calvin Bradford. Tyler Brodsky. Michael Brooks. Watching from home, we have Donnell Bird and Desmond Dove. Clarice Hall. Rashawn Hyman. Avante Vinny Champion. Samuel Hijibu. And watching from home, Tamika English.
Christian Williams. Alana Kendricks. Aya Levy. Jermaine March Jr. Lachey Richardson. Lyric Walton. Lily Tannenholz. Gina Sharp. David Jacobs II. Please be seated for our welcome from Dr. Egypt.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh Ejik. I'm the Director of Education here at the Maryland School for the Blind. Tonight, like other high schools across the United States at this time of year, MSB celebrates graduation. On behalf of the staff of MSB, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to our MSB graduation ceremony. Around the gym, you'll see a series of flags, one for Baltimore City and others for the other counties in Maryland. Our graduates came to MSB from all of these jurisdictions, and after tonight, they will return more independent and better prepared for success in the next phase of their lives. Graduates, this is a milestone event that you and your family will never forget. We are all proud of you, we're all excited for you, and you inspire all of us every day. But there's one thing we don't feel right now, and that is surprised. We are not surprised by your graduation achievement and the numerous victories that preceded this moment. You attained each of these successes through perseverance and hard work. MSB staff worked tenaciously, guiding you to this moment. Let's get a round of applause for all the staff of MSB. Your families, parents, grandparents, guardians, aunts, uncles, siblings, cousins, and everybody else also worked diligently and sacrificed much on this journey to bring you to this day. Please give a round of applause to our families. Everyone here, all the people, staff, families, were here for you throughout your lives. They got up every morning, packed your clothes for the week, planned lessons, attended many meetings about your progress. These individuals believed in you, sacrificed for you, and loved you even when it drove them crazy. Today is their day too. On this stage, please let me introduce those who will be helping this evening. Maureen Bessesi, Residential and Related Services Director. Our principals, Carol Seckington and Phyllis Simmons, and Assistant Principal Heather Saran. Also tonight is our very hardworking senior sponsor, Maria Morris. Also on the stage, Lou Smith, MSB Alumni Association President. Mary Malauer, Board Chair of MSB. And our guest speaker and board member, Paul Schrader. I believe we also have some board members in the audience tonight. If you are here, please stand up. Or maybe not. To our parents, it's been a privilege and an absolute pleasure and honor getting to know you and your families. Only yesterday, it seemed like your children were preschoolers, but tonight they are young adults ready for the world. Tonight, we celebrate their extraordinary progress and milestones, achievement, and your role in their success. Now I'm honored to introduce Mary Malauer, Chair of the Maryland School for the Blind Board of Directors, who brings greetings from the board. Please welcome Mary into the podium.
Good evening. It's such a festive night and a beautiful day to have such a wonderful occasion. On behalf of the Maryland School for the Blind Board of Directors, I want to congratulate each of the graduates in the class of 2022. You've worked hard to get here. We're really proud of you, the staff, your families, your friends, everybody who supports you, and we wish you much success, fun, and happiness in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the MSB Senior Class President, Lachey Richardson, who will speak on behalf of the class of 2022.
Good evening, class of 2022. I want to start off by congratulating all the graduates because we have made it through. I want to take the time to say thank you to all the family, friends, and staff that has contributed to our success this year and the following years leading up to this year. I have very little to say to you guys, but I want to leave you guys with this. Through whatever you take on after this day, when you walk through these doors, no matter how challenging it may be courageous, be bold, and be your best, because you can do whatever you set your mind to.
Good evening. While Lachey makes her way back to her seat, I have the distinct honor of introducing to you this evening our commencement speaker. Thank you. Paul W. Schrader serves as the Vice President for the Impact and Outreach for the American Printing House for the Blind, APH as we know it, which supports the education for students who are blind or low vision. He is responsible for APH's public policy engagement. He oversees several programs and services, including outreach and training, the APH Correct Center, museum, prison braille program, and the National Instructional Materials Access Center. Prior to joining APH, Mr. Schrader served as Vice President for Public Policy and Strategic Initiatives for ERA, which provides access to visual information. And prior to that, he served as Vice President of Programs and Policy for the American Foundation for the Blind, AFB. And during the 22 years with AFB, Mr. Schrader assumed increasing responsibilities, ultimately leading AFB's activities related to legislative and public policy, publishing, research and demographic trends, education, employment, independent living, and technology. Mr. Schrader has worked to improve disability services as well as environmental and technological accessibility for individuals with disabilities, especially those with vision loss. He has helped secure important improvements in key programs, including vocational rehabilitation and special education, and he played key roles in efforts to implement the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Communications and Video Accessibility Act. He is a member of the Board of Directors for both the National Braille Press and the Maryland School for the Blind. Mr. Schrader lives in Silver Spring, Maryland. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Paul Schrader.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lacessi. I appreciate that. When I got the invitation to speak tonight from Mr. Hare, I reminded him that I had actually been a commencement speaker. And I said, "Are you sure you want me back?" And he said, "Well, it's been 10 years, so we've decided whatever damage you did then, we've long since managed to repair." So it's good to be back. I value my time on the board of directors. Chair Malauer, thank you for being with us, and thank you for your excellent leadership of the board. I now work, as you know, with the American Printing House for the Blind, which is one of many organizations serving the blindness field, but one that is particularly focused on education and providing books and services and products and supports for students who are blind or visually impaired throughout the country, and indeed, of course, here in Maryland. Now, I mentioned being here 10 years ago. It was actually 9 years ago. And one of the things that happens to us, as you heard the bio, and it's as I get older, I'm increasingly wondering, like, who are we talking about? I don't remember most of those things, but I guess I probably was doing them. That we get a little older, and so one of the wonderful things about families are great. Love my family. I've got 2 brothers. They're both older, really annoying for the most part, as older brothers would be, and as you would expect a baby brother to say. And my mom, they're all out in California, so I don't see them too often. And over the past couple of years, a lot of us haven't traveled much. And anyway, I was out visiting, and we were sitting at lunch together with my family, and my older brother looked across at me and said, "Man, your face is a lot like you put on a lot of weight." Thank you very much. And then my mom chimed in with, "Your beard is a lot whiter than." Like, yep. "And do you have anything but gray in your hair?" I'm like, "Nope, probably not." So thanks a lot, family. Built up my esteem. I'm feeling a whole lot better now. Appreciate anything else you want to point out. Want to comment on other aspects of my appearance? One of the things you discover as a blind person, and I am totally blind, is that you don't appreciate the mirror or dread the mirror either, right? So I have never looked in a mirror. I've been totally blind since I was an infant. So I have really no understanding, but I do hear a lot of groaning and frustration from my wife when she looks in the mirror. So I gather mirrors are a challenge. One of the things that my fellow graduates, especially those of us who are totally blind, can hold on to as you go through life is you don't have to look in the mirror. So you're okay, it's good. You can believe whatever you want until you're sitting across the table from your family. And then maybe they remind you, oh, maybe you're not what you thought. Well, that's okay. It's all good. I won't dwell on this. We know these last couple of years have been exceedingly difficult. We've lost friends. We've missed out on opportunities. Family members have gone. I won't dwell on that because we know the horrors that the virus has brought us, the fear and the panic that we have been subjected to. We know that it's reminded us that fear is not a great teacher. Fear can serve us well, that instinct to self-protect, to fight or flight. That's good. But fear also leads us in unfortunate directions. And we've seen some of that too, with some panic and maybe the fear of others that has been perhaps all too common, particularly over the last couple of years. Clearly, we're not done with COVID, but I do want to end this little point about these last couple of years by looking at the optimistic side of things. The vaccines, the treatments, the high quality and widely available masks, the access to antibacterial and antiviral agents. And I even want to put a plug in for, believe it or not, Zoom. I know, Zoom fatigue, it is a thing. People are tired of Zoom. But look at what Zoom has also done for us. Tonight we're streaming on Zoom, so hello to those of you who are watching. Encountering your Zoom fatigue. We've become familiar with the Zoom or other platforms. We've learned a lot about how to use them. And we've also been able to experience events that we wouldn't have been able to travel to, perhaps. We've been able to get instruction remotely. We've even been able to do healthcare visits remotely. And so while Zoom has a certain amount of fatigue associated with it, that is one of the silver linings that has come, I think, from this pandemic. And that is that we have learned how to use these connectivity platforms so well. And also, by the way, I'm told that looking at yourself on Zoom is a little bit like the mirror, only worse. So again, those of us who don't look at ourselves, just keep on believing what you believe. It's all right. I want to talk a little bit about some things that are positive in the world of blindness. Now, as you know, I talked about getting older. I'm almost old enough to be a grandparent for some of the graduates. I don't think I'm quite there. I would, by the way, be that really cool grandparent. Just want to point that out, make that very clear to all of you. There have been a lot of things in my, yes, nearly 60 years. That's where I'm at. It'll be 60 end of the year. That I've been able to witness breakthroughs that have made my life better as a blind person and have made the lives of people I know who are blind or who have low vision so much better. And you're going to experience some of these as well. You're going to benefit from these as well. And maybe some of you will even play a role in helping to move some of these breakthroughs a little bit forward. I'm going to talk about just a few of them because I want to share my enthusiasm for these things. And I also want to point out that the ones I've chosen to talk about are ones that people who are blind ourselves have really made a big difference in moving forward. Audio description. How many here in the room have experienced television programs or movies with this thing called audio or sometimes video description? Just a little applause if you have. I hope you have. I hope some of you have. Audio description has made a huge difference in my life and in the lives of so many people who enjoy entertainment. Yes, blind people, we all know this. We all know this in this room. It is not a secret. We watch TV. Yes, we do. Woo! Just like everybody else, we watch a lot of the same things. Some of them really bad programs, but we watch them anyway. I do chide my daughters for their TV choices, but hey, that's theirs. Audio description has allowed me as a blind parent with sighted daughters to enjoy programs that they liked on an even field so that I could know what was happening on the screen and could talk to them about it. It has allowed my sighted wife to watch programs and continue to play Candy Crush so she doesn't have to look at the screen because she can hear what's going on just like I do. I think we might have some Candy Crush players here in the room. So next time you're doing that, turn on the audio description. It's usually on the secondary audio or Spanish channel. And you too can enjoy the program without having to sacrifice that level or the bears that you're trying to rescue or whatever. I don't understand Candy Crush, but I understand you rescue things. Audio description has made a huge difference in my life. It has allowed me to enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe on par with my family. it is a weird family. We have 3 women, my 2 daughters and my wife and me. And typically, right, the male would be the one that's the Marvel fan, although I think we got some female Marvel fans in the audience. So we're the family. I'm the one watching the rom-coms and crying, and my daughters and wife are watching MCU and go, yeah, you know, just a little bit crazy. So that's our family, but I've come to enjoy that. Screen readers. Some of you are using computers. I even think there are some sighted people who have sometimes benefited from having the voice output on their computer. Screen readers have been around for a while, but most of the work on them has been done by individuals who are blind. And I should have mentioned with audio description, I had a note here. Margaret Fansteel, who has since passed away, Dr. Margaret Fansteel, just down the road here in Maryland, was one of the people that developed audio description early on. A lot of her work was in the theater because she wanted to understand what was happening in a play. Screen readers, Ted Henter, who invented JAWS, which is probably the most well-known screen reader, is certainly a name that should be known to a lot of us. A blind man who lost his sight as a 20-something, I want to say, in a motorcycle accident, turned his life into something of extraordinary meaning for those of us who are blind, writing the most well-known screen reader in the world. Access to sighted assistance has often been a challenge. I know my wife's not here, so I can make fun of her a little bit. I already did, and but the Candy Crush thing. So those of you who live with sighted people, those of us who are blind, know that sometimes they don't really want to help with looking at something. They don't want to tell you the microwave directions. They don't want to necessarily wrestle the thermostat down. They don't necessarily want to go through all the cans in the pantry, or maybe all the cereal boxes, to tell you what they are. So access to sighted assistance, even if you've got a sighted person around in your life, it's a challenge, right, for those of us who are blind. And on a serious note, there are things that are simply easier to access and get if you can see them. Labels are easier to read. Yes, there's technology and there's solutions. Information signs are easier to read, although I would argue most sighted people never do, because they never seem to know where they are when I ask them, hey, where are we? I don't have any idea. I don't understand that. So to solve this problem, a Danish man named Hans Jørgen Viberg, or Viberg, invented something called Be My Eyes. It is a way for you as a blind person to use your cell phone to connect with a sighted volunteer who could be anywhere in the world. And you hold the phone camera up, you're talking live to the sighted person, they're a volunteer, and they can look at whatever's in front of the camera. So whatever you need to know, whatever trivial or absolutely critical piece of information you need to have, you can get at it. And they're up to nearly 6 million volunteers since they launched in 2015. 6 million sighted people, about 300,000 blind people using this service. It is extraordinary, and it is also free. What a great breakthrough. Braille. It's the classic, right? Louis Braille. He's got the thing named for him. I mean, how awesome is that, right? It's his code. Blind guy, invented it as a teenager. Probably a little bit of a troublemaker. In fact, most assuredly, he was a little bit of a troublemaker. Part of what I think he wanted to do is have a way to share notes with his blind classmates that the sighted teachers couldn't read because they didn't know Braille. Clearly, they didn't know Braille because it hadn't been invented yet. He invented it. Great story, but we're moving Braille forward. Braille was invented in the 1800s, 29-ish. They're going to yell at me back at APH because one of the things I manage, as you know, is the museum, and we have one of Louis's books that showed his code, the book that he wrote back in the 20s it was. So we're moving Braille forward. I'm up here with something called a Mantis. It's a device that American Printing House for the Blind has developed with our partner Humanware, which is a company that makes these technologies. We're moving this forward. We're going to be launching an even more innovative Braille device, and it is led in many cases by people who are blind, who are developing the Braille. And the last thing I want to mention in this little romp through breakthroughs that are making a huge difference for us, autonomous vehicles. Yeah. Now, blind people didn't invent autonomous vehicles, but blind people have certainly cursed the existence of cars and us not being able to drive them for a long time. And now we're seeing the advent of autonomous vehicles, and both of the organizations of blind people got on board very quickly to say, this is a key breakthrough technology. This could mean so much for people who are blind, so much independence, so much ability to just hop in the car. Yeah, Uber and Lyft have changed the world too, but imagine being able to own your own or summon your own car, type in where you want to go and sit back and have it take you there. I cannot get my spouse to do that some of the time she will. I had two-sighted daughters, I think chiefly so I could raise drivers eventually. That was really the key. I do love them. They're great girls, but yeah, that was a real twofer, I guess. They're lovely people and they can drive. Summoning a vehicle, being able to drive independently, maybe even go on your own dates. Whoa, what a breakthrough. And I don't even have to talk about what that could mean for work. Transportation, huge barrier, right? There are so many places we can't live in this country independently as blind people because there simply isn't transportation. We're pretty lucky in Maryland to have a lot of good transit systems, certainly in Baltimore and the Washington area. So I want to close with a couple things that I would ask you to do as my graduates here, my friends, my buddies. First of all, maintain, build, develop, whatever you need to do, get a sense of humor. It will matter a lot. Your patience will be tested on a daily basis. People will ask you dumb questions. They probably already have. You'll make mistakes. You'll do some things that are kind of awkward. Sometimes, as blind people, that happens. Develop a sense of humor. Have the ability to laugh at yourself a little bit and find the fun in life. That will make a huge difference in your world. I don't know how to tell you to develop one. I mean, I had these two older brothers, and so I had no choice. It was the only way I was going to survive is to laugh about things. And I do value the fact that I come from a family that really does prize sense of humor. The second thing I want to ask you to do is to push your limits. Count on being told no a lot. Maybe you already have. All of us, regardless of our disabilities, blindness and otherwise, are told no, are told you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Now, I'm not saying you should be reckless and irresponsible. I'm just saying test your limits a little bit. Try things. Try to do activities. It's gonna look different for each of us, depending on what our skills are and what our innate abilities are. That's okay. There's a lot of things I can't do. Ask my kids, I can't dance worth a darn. You do not want to see that, right? But I bet some of you can. I bet some of you can outdance me. I mean, if you're in the TikTok generation, my understanding is you kind of have to. You have no choice. You can't be a teen today and not be able to dance on TikTok. I think it's a requirement. So test your limits, try things, try activities. Take advantage of something that maybe you've heard this word, resiliency. It's a great buzzword, resiliency, resilient. We got to be resilient. I would argue that most of us with disabilities generally have a good bit of resiliency. Not because we're special, not because we were given any special gifts along with our disability. The reason we have a resilience is that we're tested on a daily basis, tested in doing many commonplace things that others take for granted. And in all of those tests, we learn to be resilient. Resilient meaning we learn to be able to have a positive attitude. We learn to be able to do things in spite of the challenges that we're facing. Take advantage of that resiliency, and that's what you can use to push your limits. Now, just for fun, you heard across my bio that I've been a vice president a lot. Now where's Aya Levy? I think I heard her name mentioned somewhere in here, right? Vice president. It is tough being a vice president, man. You are always, just one step away. And I've been a vice president all my life. I was actually vice president of student government. I didn't put that in there because, at some point you got to stop putting dorky things that you did back in school. But I got to be president because the president had to resign. So sometimes being vice president, you're in the right place at the right time. So hang in there. You've been tested. You're going to do great. I'm going to close with this. Over these last couple of years, something that has helped me a lot is in my neighborhood, we started playing music. There's a couple of us who are musicians, and somebody said, hey, we're not going anywhere. Why don't you guys come outside and we'll play happy hours? Nobody's going anywhere. We can stay distant. And we started doing that, and it's become a regular thing, as I put it somewhere along the way. The lady who kind of suggested starting this, she's probably asked us several times now to stop, but we just won't. So we're just enjoying it too much. And so one of I take a lot of solace in music and songs. And one of the singer-songwriters that I've just come to love over the last 4 or 5 years is a guy named Jason Isbell. And if you've never heard of him, look him up. He writes wonderful sort of alt country, they call it, music. But you know, if you're not a country fan, it's okay. If you are a country fan, you'll find stuff. He's just a great songwriter. And I'm going to close with these lines that are in one of his songs that the first time I heard it, it just struck me right. I hope you find something to love, something to do when you feel like giving up. A song to sing or a tale to tell. Something to love. It'll serve you well. Thanks a lot. Good evening, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Schrader, for those inspiring words for our graduates and the rest of us in the audience too. It's very helpful. I have the pleasure this evening of presenting a couple of awards to members of our graduating class, but cannot do that without my glasses. Even with the large print, can't do it without the glasses. The first award is the Benjamin Franklin Newcomer Award. And this award is presented to the student who is a member of the 2022 graduating class. They must have attended MSB for at least 4 years. The successful student in this award is a contributing member of at least 2 extracurricular activities, has shown a positive influence in school life through both leadership and citizenship, has shown academic achievement to the best of their ability, and has shown consistent and sincere loyalty to school standards and ideals. The winner of the Benjamin Franklin Newcomer Award for the class of 2022 is Mr. Christian Jamal Williams. The next award is the Special Staff Commendation Award. And we actually have 2 winners of this award. This award is presented to the student who has shown overall improvement, commendable overall improvement in their time here at MSB. The first winner of the Special Commendation Award is Lyric Danae Wharton. Started celebrating as she's walking up there. Thank you and congratulations. And the second recipient of the Special Staff Commendation Award, again, awarded to the student who has shown commendable improvement in all areas in their time at MSB, is presented to Mr. David Wilson Jacobs, the second. You can come up, Dad. You can get closer. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Lou Smith, interim president of our MSB Alumni Association, to the podium, please. Over here, Lou.
Who moved the wall? Good evening and congratulations to all the graduates. It's very special to be up here, and because I graduated from this stage last year, and my nose grows, so there's an extra doorway in the back now thanks to my nose growing. I'm here to offer congratulations and best wishes to the graduates, also to invite you to consider joining the MSB Alumni Association. And if you'd like more information, either catch me afterwards or catch Ms. Basesi, or any of the administrative staff can put you in touch with me, and I'll be glad to tell you more about it. I'm here to also present the MSB Alumni Award. And in order to be considered for the Alumni Award, the student must demonstrate improvement that surpasses that of others in the areas of attitude, behavior, socialization, academics, grooming and personal care, as well as self-discipline. The individual must be in at least their second year of attendance at MSB in the 16 to 21-year-old age group and not receive the award in the previous year. Now I'll tell you a little bit about this year's winner. This is what the staff wrote. This student was selected to receive this year's MSB Alumni Award. This individual is kind and empathetic and diligent in completing their work and strives for quality. This student shared mature and insightful perspectives during socialization and social work assemblies, in class discussions and debates. This individual set and achieved personal goals for this year. This student joined the goal ball and track teams. The award recipient began working as a co-host for the morning announcements and will be donating, now we're giving it away, her salary to a school for the blind in the Congo. She increased her technology skills with the use of a braille display And as Paul said, and as I say, it's my new best friend. It goes with me everywhere. She demonstrated personal growth in public speaking. Hope she does a heck of a sight better than I'm doing right now, and advocating for herself. This year's winner is, and I pray that I don't change the name, Marie Leokudie Yenzi Ijambo. Congratulations. As blind people, how do we practice social distancing when we're trying to hand something to somebody else? Dr. Ishik is giving the audio description as she comes up the ramp. Speaking of which, thank you for the advertisement, Paul. You are welcome.
All right. Congratulations to all our award winners tonight. Before we move on to the confirmation of the graduates, I apologize. I should have started with this. Usually the graduations are hosted and led by our superintendent, Mr. Rob Hare, but he was not able to be here tonight. So that is why you are having to listen to me as much as you are tonight, not somebody else. So next we will be doing the confirmation of the graduates. The principals have reviewed the records and transcripts of each of the senior class members. I hereby certify that they have met all the qualifications established by the Maryland State Department of Education and the State Board of Education. Therefore, they are granted their Maryland School for the Blind diploma or certificate of program completion. Next, we will be presenting diplomas and certificates to our graduates. Graduates will be coming up one at a time as principals share a little bit about them. Family members, please feel free to come forward and get close to the stage to take as many pictures as you like.
The first graduate this evening is Calvin Malcolm Bradford. Calvin comes to us from Glen Burnie, Maryland in Anne Arundel County. Calvin has attended MSB for 12 years. Some of Calvin's most memorable times while attending has been the drum parade with Miss Lenny's music class. He enjoyed being in the parade and also loved performing on the bucket drums at the CBeyond Festival. At the senior breakfast, Calvin was voted the most improved student as he has made so many gains in his educational career. He is going to be successful in whatever he does. Calvin shared that the things he's learned that will help him the most are meeting people, helping them when they need help. He also shared learning about cooking skills, cleaning skills, and Braille are very important. After graduation, Calvin would like to work as a bus aide or in the field of construction and live close to his family with a roommate. Congratulations, Calvin. Cross, buddy. Our next graduate, Tyler Allen Brodsky, comes to us from Lutherville, Maryland, and he's attended MSB for 13 years. Some of Tyler's most memorable times while at MSB was every music session he got to be with Miss Danny and her guitar. Tyler's favorite music therapy song was the Stick song. Tyler was voted at the senior breakfast as a best friend. He's a good friend because he has always a kind word to say about people, and he loves people. And he also enjoys being around everybody. Some of the skills Tyler has learned that will help him after graduation is he has done superbly with his mealtime routines. Tyler is now eating a wide variety of food, using a fork, identifying what's missing during his meals, and is assisting with cleanup. Tyler has also gained confidence with conversing with staff and friends, as well as traveling within his classroom in the building. After graduation, Tyler plans to have his days filled with fun activities and some work time coordinated by Emerge Adult Services. Tyler will live in a group home close to his parents, church, and therapeutic horseback riding program. Way to go, Mr. Brodsky. Michael Anthony Brooks Jr. He comes to us from Clinton, Maryland in PG County, and he's attended MSB for 7 years. Michael's most memorable times at MSB have been playing basketball with his peers and playing the staff and student games. Everyone knows his love of sports, and he was voted most athletic by his senior classmates, saying he's an excellent basketball player, goalball player, track and field runner, cheerleader, and all-around good sport. Michael also said that prom was one of his favorite memories as well. Some of the skills that he learns that he will feel will benefit him when he graduates are cooking, washing dishes, patience, laundry, and problem solving. After graduation, Michael will work with a representative of Doors to find a job, as well as staying at home with his parents. Best of luck to you, Michael.
Our next graduate, Mr. Donnell Bird, is not able to be with us tonight. However, I would like to share some information, and we have a staff member who's going to accept for him. Mr. Donnell Tyler Bird lives in Wacomico County. He's been at the Maryland School for the Blind for 11 years. His most memorable time here has been that he's been loving being with his classmates, staff, and those who took care of him. He has had staff that have been with him for many, many years. Skills he has learned here at school have been the use of assistive technology. And he's able now to accomplish goals that have to do with his leisure activities. His plans after graduation, he will reside at the Holly Center in Wacomico County. We have a superlative award for Donnell, and that is that he's known as the biggest flirt. This guy charms all of the ladies, and he has a dashing smile. He commands attention, and he gets it. Congratulations to Donnell. Thank you, Ms. Carly. Our next graduate is Mr. Avante Champion. Avante Champion, better known as Vinny or the Venster, likes to take walks around the campus with staff. He loves being in the sunshine and takes very big steps. He has made great strides with his personal management and social skills. Vinny loves other social activities as well. He had a great time at his senior prom, dancing the night away and posing for pictures. His favorite activity in school was collecting paper for recycling around campus. He also loves music therapy and gym. He was voted best entertainer by his peers for personality and showmanship. Following graduation, Benny plans to attend an adult placement in the community and live at a residential facility. He's going to miss coming to school every day, as well as his teachers, dorm staff, therapists, and friends. His superlative award is, again, the best entertainer. He has the best sense of humor and is not afraid to show it. Whether his big steps down the hallway or treating his class with one of the many dance shows that he performs, this guy can entertain the best of them. Congratulations, Benny. We have 3 in a row. Our next graduate is also unable to be with us today. However, accepting his award and his certificate is his mom. Desmond Tyree Dobb lives in Baltimore City. He's been at the Maryland School for the Blind for 8 years. His most memorable time here at MSB was celebrating his 21st birthday with his classmates. He likes the Steelers, sorry Ravens fans, and scary things. He also enjoyed many of the activities the class would provide where they would pit the Steelers against the Ravens. He has learned skills and how to use signs to communicate yes and no. He uses this in answering very specific comprehension questions. After graduation, Desmond will have self-directed care in home with his family. Desi, as we call him, has a superlative award of being the most laid back. And if you saw him, you would definitely agree. He knows how to go with the flow of things. Congratulations, Desi, and thank you.
Our next graduate, Tamika English, is not able to be with us this evening either, but accepting on her behalf is her fantastic teacher, Carly Telekamp. But Tamika comes to us from Northeast Maryland and Cecil County, and she has been with us for 7 years. Some of Tamika's most memorable times at MSB that she's enjoyed have been the music instruction as well, and she's participated in that 110%. She has also loved exploring the various areas of our vast MSB campus. Her love of walking and exploring has not ceased since her enrollment. Tamika was voted the best laugh of the senior class. Her classmates sharing she had great enthusiasm and she has a creative, fun-loving attitude. Some of the skills that Tamika feels that have benefited her and will use after graduation are her communication skills. And she does very well communicating through gestures and body language. She is able to let staff know how she's feeling at any time. She is able to make choices independently, for example, choosing leisure activities that keep her mind and body calm. After graduation, Tamika will reside at home with her family and she'll receive support from a DDA agency to provide ongoing supports for adult programming in the near future. Way to go, Tamika. Thank you, Carly. Our next graduate, Clarice Nazelle Hall. She comes to us from Baltimore City, and she's attended MSB for 18 years. Clarice's favorite memories while at school include the time spent with various classmates, but especially her senior year with Io, Valerie, and Calvin. She has also loved going to the senior prom. And speaking of the prom, she was the first on the dance floor and the last one to leave the dance floor. And she has great moves. And it's no surprise that the senior class voted her the best dancer. Clarice feels some of the skills that are most important that she has learned have been her ability to navigate the grocery store, count out her money, and write her name. After graduation, she plans to live at home with her family and find a job or attend a day program. Best of luck to you, Clarice. Our next graduate is Mr. Samuel Hajibu. Sam comes to us from Marriottsville, Maryland and Howard County, and he's been with us for 1.5 years. Sam's most memorable times at MSB was getting to explore the campus with his O&M instructor, Mr. Jim, and his speech therapist, Miss Sarah. Sam learned many skills during his short tenure at MSB. Most notably, he has shown great improvement using his iPad for communication. He is able to greet his peers and staff, request more of specific food and activities, and he alerts staff when he needs help or he's finished with an activity. After graduation, Sam will be volunteering at his church, working to develop his art for his greeting card business, and living his best life around town at the gym, the library, bowling with friends, horseback riding, and swimming. Bravo, Sam.
Our next graduate is Raishan Hyman L. Raishan is from Baltimore City. He has been at MSB for 7 years. His most memorable time at MSB was in the dorm with everyone sitting at a table playing Uno with 10 other people. It was the biggest and most fun Uno game ever, Raishan says. Also, when he learned how to play beep baseball for the first time, when he played a basketball game of students versus staff, and he got to play with all of his brothers, and of course, the students won, when he first got introduced to Mr. S. Skills he has learned that will benefit Raishan after graduation are coping skills, learning how to be a team player, and learning how to be more independent and strive for greatness. Raishan's plans for after graduation are to start working, continue his education with getting a GED, starting his own business, and continuing to pursue rapping. Congratulations, Raishan.
Our next graduate is David Wilson Jacobs II. David comes to us from Gwinnett, Maryland, Baltimore County, and he's attended MSB for 14 years. Some of David's most memorable times at MSB include music, whether it's listening to it through headphones or humming a tune on his own. He's always ready for a trip to music therapy or a walk around campus. Most recently, David had an exceptional time on his senior trip at the Medieval Times restaurant. He clapped and cheered almost nonstop. And finally, his infectious smile can always light up a room and brighten up the most challenging of days. The skills David has learned since being at MSB have been many. He has worked hard at using his daily schedule board, identifying his name symbol. He's become a pro at using his signature name stamp. He's progressed with his communication, technology, and vocational skills. His best asset is his positive attitude while working with career education. After graduation, David plans to attend Life Incorporated Day program and reside at home with his family. Great job, David.
Our next graduate is Alana Janae Kendrick. Alana lives in Howard County. She has been at the Maryland School for the Blind for 13 years, and I do remember the day she came. The most memorable time at MSB has been having pizza with her classmates to celebrate her 20th birthday, and once and always to have a dance. She loves music and she loves stories. Skills Alana has learned include in expressing herself with signs and the use of assistive technology. After graduation, Alana will attend a day rehabilitation facility while living with her family. Now, Alana's superlative award is Best Hair. She's sweet and petite. She can rock the locks and look great doing it. Congratulations, Alana.
Our next graduate is Mr. Aya Levy. Woo! He comes to us from Silver Spring, Maryland in Montgomery County, and he's been at MSB for 13 years. Aya's most memorable times here at MSB have been participating in sports such as goalball, wrestling, and track and field. At the senior breakfast, Aya was voted the Energizer Bunny of the senior class because whether it's track and field or luggage distribution, he goes nonstop. Aya also has developed great work skills, and his favorite job has been the luggage job. He not only did a lot of independent travel for this, but he also made braille labels for the students' luggage and ensured luggage was ready to go for every bus ride on Friday. Aya also made it his duty to meet and welcome every bus driver that arrives on campus. They all know him by name. Aya shared that he has learned many skills while here at MSB, but especially the responsibility for the various tasks, organizing, and time management. Aya did have one departing fun question. What will I do without Miss Katrina? After graduation, Aya would like to get a job either working with people at school or at a metro station. And oh, don't forget, he said, he will continue to do the wobble. It's a dance. I didn't know what it was. Bravo, Aya, bravo. Our next graduate is Jermaine Silver March Jr. Jermaine comes to us from Baltimore, Maryland, and he's attended MSB for 19 years. Jermaine's favorite memories and activities include music therapy class, where he is always willing to participate, whether it's instruments or singing his favorite song. Jermaine worked very hard learning his daily skills routine and can independently feed himself. He has also made strides at successfully completing his IEP skills and his work goals. Jermaine loves to dance. He is always ready to dance to it if a favorite tune comes on. Jermaine, anyone who knows Jermaine, he is also very stylish. He was voted the best dressed at the senior class. Stylish, sophisticated, and always dressed to impress in the latest fashions. Jermaine has made strides in using his communication devices, and his communication skills have greatly improved. He is very proud of his sorting skills and takes his job very seriously during the career education classes. Most notably, Jermaine loves being able to independently walk to his classroom each and every morning, put his things away. He sits down at his desk and gets ready to begin the day, always with a smile. After graduation, Jermaine plans to attend a DDA-funded program during the day and reside at home with his family. Great work, Jermaine.
Our next graduate is Lachey Richardson. Lachey's hometown is Baltimore, Maryland. She has been at MSB for 9 years. Her most memorable times at MSB are playing sports and meeting new people. The skills she has learned that will benefit her after graduation are independence, O&M, and Braille. Her plans for after graduation are studying psychology at the Community College of Baltimore County. Congratulations, Lachey.
Our next graduate is Gina Sharp. Gina lives in Carroll County. She has been at the Maryland School for the Blind for 3 years. Gina's most memorable time here at the Maryland School for the Blind was celebrating her 21st birthday with her classmates. She also enjoyed her special treat in the classroom regarding the medieval times. What a way to go. Her skills that she has learned include navigating assistive technology, the tablet, and iPads. She makes smooth transitions from one location to the next in the hallways. She is always happy to meet and see people as she travels. After graduation, she will spend time with Penny, her dog. She will also spend time with her family, of course. Gina's superlative award is that she is the most organized, and I mean organized. She knows exactly where things should be and they must remain there. She needs to also have the door closed behind her. And she would very much love it if everyone would pay attention to this and do as she wishes. We want to congratulate Gina for her 3 years here at the Maryland School for the Blind. Our next graduate is Lily Daphne Tannenholtz. Lily lives in Baltimore County. Lily has been here at the Maryland School for the Blind for 15 years. Her most memorable time here includes always giving a laugh or a smile. She loves being at school with her classmates and staff. She loves 80s music and her family. Skills that she has learned include how to communicate with yes/no responses and the use of assistive technology. She readily responds to comprehension questions with her yes/no response. After graduation, Lily will live with her family and have a self-directed care program. Lily's superlative award is a super smile, a smile that lights up a room. This young lady will definitely brighten anyone's day. She's also known as Silly Lily. Congratulations.
Our next graduate is Miss Lyric Wharton. Lyric's hometown is Baltimore, Maryland. She's been at MSB for 4 years. Some of her most memorable times at MSB are summer camp, meeting new people and seeing old ones, becoming senior class secretary, playing goal ball as a member of the school team, learning new technology and academic skills. Some of the skills that she has learned that will benefit her after graduation are career research and development, independent living, travel training. Her plans for after graduation are going to CCBC, working in the field of cybersecurity, and getting a small apartment. Congratulations, Lyric.
And our last graduate for this evening is Mr. Christian Jamal Williams. Christian comes to us from Washington, D.C., and he's attended MSB for 5 years and is graduating with his Washington, D.C. high school diploma. Christian's most memorable time while attending MSB is when he obtained his first job on campus. Christian was voted the life of the party by his senior classmates. He has a fun attitude and he always makes others smile. Christian feels the most important skills besides completing the required courses for his diploma that he's learned while being here at MSB are his cooking skills, his communication skills, and his organization skills. After graduation, Christian plans to get a job as well as take college classes to pursue something in the field of education. Your hard work paid off, Christian. Way to go.
All right, congratulations, graduates. Now I'd like to welcome back to the stage Ms. Lachey Richardson, our senior class president, for the turning of the tassel ceremony.
Seniors, can you please stand and face your families? Now we will turn our tassels from right to left. Congratulations, graduates.
Great job, Lachey. Congratulations to all of our graduates tonight. All right. I also want to make sure I thank Senior Advisor Maria Morris and Phyllis Simmons for taking another senior class through their last year here at MSB and leading us to graduation tonight. Thank you very much. Before we end for the evening, I also want to acknowledge another milestone. Ms. Phyllis Simmons has dedicated her professional career to the students, families, and staff of the Maryland School for the Blind. Unfortunately for us, but fortunately for her, this will be Phyllis's last graduation with us as a principal as she embarks on her next adventure and enjoying a much deserved and earned retirement. We will miss Phyllis very much and wish her the best of luck. Please give a loud round of applause to Phyllis for her over 45 years of service to MSB. All right, now I'll invite Christian Williams back up to the stage to lead us in the singing of the school song. Good. Take your mask off. Good job.
May everyone stand for the singing of the school song, please. With sincere phrases, we sing our praises to you, our own dear MSB. Where happy school days lead on to highway and glory and power and light we see. To bear our standards so bold and free, we march ahead in unity to proclaim our fame and honor, gain and glory for our MSP. Our friendships tender, we will remember, though we must leave the MSB. We'll be returning to our home of learning to prove our love and loyalty. To bear our standard is happiness. It leads us on to reach success. We will always know and always show our love for dear old MSB.
All right, thank you, Christian. Excellent job. Please be seated. Each graduate has a particular recessional song with their diploma in hand. Again, please remain seated until all students and the platform guests have left the stage. Thank you all very much for coming to MSB's 2022 commencement exercises and honoring our graduates again this evening.
All right, Dr. Egypt, you should have never opened that door. But thank you, everyone, for the many years that I have served here. It's been an honor, a pleasure. I will miss everyone, and I'm telling you, the students just make it for us. Thank you so much. And what I'm going to do afterwards on the first day, I told my staff, I said, I will ride down Taylor Avenue. You're to come to the big window and wave to me. We are going to also now have a very fun part for the recessional. Each graduate has selected a song they would like to proceed out on or recess out on. As they do that, we've encouraged them to dance, jump, shout, whatever they feel they want to do. You as their family and guests, you may join in, you may dance with them. Our first graduate, oh, I'm sorry, I was reminded, everyone please come back in for refreshments after the last graduate has recessed out. All right, first graduate, Mr. Calvin Bradford.
Tyler Brodsky.
Next is Mr. Next is Mr. Michael Brooks Jr.
And a shout out to the Holly Center, Donnell Bird.
Our next graduate is Mr. Avante Champion.
Go, Vinny! And watching from home and representing my mom, Desmond Dove.
The next graduate would be Tamika English.
Clarice Hall. Come on.
Next is Mr. Samuel Shahibu. Hope I said that correctly. Thank you.
Rashawn Heyman.
Next, we have Mr. David Jacobs II.
Here she comes.
Mr. Aya Levy.
Jermaine March Jr.
There's Lachey Richardson.
Gina Sharp.
Ms. Lily Tannenholz.
Lyric Wharton.
And Mr. Christian Williams.